Okay, let's get up the slideshow view here. We're talking about the Unit 9 grammar presentation, which is on 137, about modification of nouns. And before we go any further with this Unit 9, let me say that the order of adjectives and the names for different kinds of adjectives is something really people don't agree about all the time. And I don't always agree with the book. So sometimes you'll hear me saying things that are not in the book, or if I say something that's different from what the book says, I will try to remember to say that I'm disagreeing. Okay, a noun modifier. I'm putting this in to make it clear what I mean when I talk about a noun modifier. It's a noun that is used as an adjective, and it follows the rules for an adjective and not the rules for a noun. So for example, when I say, I'm taking a grammar course, grammar is a noun, but here I'm using it as an adjective to modify course. Okay, I've already finished 2 other grammar courses. Here this is plural, but grammar does not become plural because it's being used as an adjective, and in English an adjective does not have a plural form. Many languages that have singular and plural do have plural adjectives, like in Spanish or Arabic. But in English, no. Our adjectives are not plural, and so a noun modifier is not plural either, even though the noun it's modifying here is plural. Okay, an adjective modifier is an ordinary adjective that is not also a noun. And when you put a noun modifier and an adjective modifier together in a sentence, the noun modifier goes after the adjective modifier. So here's an example. For example, I'm taking a difficult grammar course. Grammar here, like we said, is a noun modifier. Difficult is just a regular adjective, and this goes first and this goes second. The adjective modifier goes before the noun modifier. Okay, here are some examples. And I actually, right now, I'm seeing something I really disagree with the book about, and I'm going to stop and change it. So just let me stop here, and we'll pick up later. Okay, here we're talking about adjective modifier first, then noun modifier, and then the head noun. So here's just a noun modifier, Summer Olympics. I remember the Summer Olympics. Here's just an adjective modifier. I remember the wonderful athletes. Here I have an adjective modifier, amazing, noun modifier, volleyball. So this comes first and this comes second, amazing volleyball games. I would not say volleyball amazing games. You probably even feel that sounds funny. Now this is what I'm changing here. They call in your book noun modifier this nationality, Romanian. I don't agree. I think that that's an adjective. So I'm just going to change this example. I think that things like Romanian, American, Chinese, I think of those as adjectives. So I'm going to call, let's say, I remember the unexpected, let's call it the marathon victory. Okay, the victory in the marathon. So here, this is a noun modifier. And I have the adjective modifier first, then the noun modifier. Okay, there are rules about the order of adjectives or adjective modifiers. And let me stop here and say this is not really way high up on the list of grammar rules that you really have to worry about. If you get adjectives in the wrong order, it may sound kind of funny. Everybody knows what you mean. So don't spend all night worrying about the order of adjectives, and it's not going to be on any test. But we're going through this just so you see the issue does exist, and it's possible to give lists of adjectives that sound funny to English speakers. But here's an order that goes opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, and material. For example, okay, I saw a great new French movie. Okay, I'm going to try to make this now into my big, let's try to do the slideshow here. Oh shoot, they're not going to let me do it from where I am now. Okay. Okay, I saw a great new French movie. Here's my opinion. Here's it's new. Here's the origin, and there's the head noun there. I met its fascinating young Chinese director. Same order. Here's my opinion. Here's an age. Here is an origin. Okay, here she had large round jade earrings. Jade is a beautiful green stone. A lot of jade comes from China. But I put the size and then the shape and then the material it's made of. So when I say she had jade round large earrings, that sounds very funny, but I know what that means. She wore a long, this has to do with size, and red, there's a color, and silk dress. She wore a long red silk dress is the way I would normally say that. I would not normally say she wore a red silk long dress. That sounds kind of funny. Okay. When I have modifier categories in different that are different. Okay, different modifier categories. I follow this rule. Like great is my opinion, and new is age. Let's go back and look. Great, my opinion, new, age, and epic. I don't know. Epic means really, really famous, and I don't know exactly why it's there, but I tend to follow the this order rule when I've got different modifier categories. Excuse me. I've got a dog barking. I'm just going to stop and let him finish his barking. But when I have adjectives, modifiers, adjective modifiers in the same category, serious, profound, and heartwarming, that all has to do with my opinion. I can move the order around. I can say a heartwarming, profound, serious movie. Okay. I can do it with this and or without this and. These are all the same ways, same meaning, different ways to say it when I have a list of modifiers that are all in the same category. Let's get to the last one now. Let's see if they'll let me get it big now. View the slideshow. Go to the end of it. Oh, end show. Okay. No, I don't want end show. I want to go to the end of the show. Okay. I want the noun and not the verb. End the noun and not the verb. Okay, and we have things called compound modifiers that we're going to be talking about later. And here are some examples. A 10-year-old girl, a long-haired, short-legged boy. And these compound modifiers have hyphens. These are called hyphens, this little bit here. And notice, we'll talk about this later, but because this is in fact, a noun modifier, I don't use the plural. There's no S there, okay? And that's a mistake a lot of people want to make. They want to say a 10-year-old girl, but it isn't 10 years old. It's 10-year-old when it's an adjective like this. Here are some other examples up here. The movie has a lot of computer-generated scenes. The movie has lots of strange-looking characters. These are sentences about that movie, Avatar.